Hello, everyone, and welcome to Peeps and Geeks with me, Jacqueline Jane. I'm here to break down the technology and cybersecurity jargon, answer your questions, and primarily do my best to keep you safe online. Today, I wish to talk to you about the proposed social media ban for kids under 16 here in Australia. Now, don't go away if you're not based in Australia, because what I have to say is relevant to everyone, everywhere, especially if you are a kid yourself or you're a parent or a caregiver. As a cybersecurity professional and a mum to an 18-year-old son who has safely navigated the online world, this is in my field and area of expertise. A few petitions directed to the Australian government were launched today. News Corp launched the Let Them Be Kids, which I'm showing you right now, on change.org, which currently has over 20,000 signatures, and I'm sure that will rise. This petition is campaigning for the federal government to act and raise the age that children can access social media from 13, as it currently is, to 16. I 100% agree with it and encourage you to check this out. I'll make sure there's a link in the description for you to do so. Our kids are struggling as a result of social media. And as the petition states, there is a need for age verification laws to be implemented properly, and the social media companies themselves to act and do more when it comes to monitoring what is actually happening online and who is using their services. However, there is more to it than that. Banning social media for kids 16 years and under will result in them finding a workaround, whether we like it or not. Kids under 18 are finding ways around apps and sites now that require you to be 18 years or older to use them. And some of these apps, most of them, have a pop up just like this one. And that's it. It's human nature for us to get creative and find ways to get what we want, even if it's illegal and even if we've been banned from it, whether that be obtaining a fake identification to get into nightclubs back in the day or even these days, and purchase alcohol, sneaking out the window to meet up with a crush that you've been banned from seeing, or getting your best friend's 18-year-old brother to buy you cigarettes. Where there's a will, there is always a way. Consider some of our current laws and their reality. 16 is the age for kids to get their learner's permit to start to learn to drive. There are kids under 16 who drive cars. These are not the kids that necessarily are driving on farms as part of work. 18 is the age for kids to be able to purchase alcohol legally. There are thousands of kids under 18 who find a way to access alcohol. 18 is the age for kids to sign up on dating sites and apps. Thousands of kids under 18 are actively using dating apps. And 18 is the age when you can legally purchase tobacco and e-cigarettes. Thousands of kids under 18 smoke. And it is now illegal to purchase vapes containing nicotine from anywhere other than a pharmacy without a prescription. And thousands of kids under 18 are using vapes that contain nicotine. Now, here's another scary thing. Here's an actual pop up of an Australian online vape store. I've blurred out their name, and you tell me, if you were under 18 and really wanted to purchase a vape, would you click enter site or leave site? Let's be logical. If you really want to, you're going to click enter site. There's not many kids who are going to click leave site if they're under 18. Then there is the devastating epidemic of children addicted to pornography. Thank you to YouTube, making sure I'm doing the right thing. What breaks my heart is the average of first time exposure to this is 8 years old. Used to be 11, 12, 13. Now it's at 8 years old. And according to the Australian Institute of Family Studies, nearly half of children between 9 and 16 experience regular exposure to these images. The Youth Safety Commissioner in 2008 research found that 40% of children came across pornography accidentally while searching online, and 21% were shown or sent material by someone they know. And a little bit more research that I did today, which I found really sad. This is the first page of Cornhub. Need I say more? Again, all it is a I am not under 18 or I am over 18. and you're into the site. So, what is the answer? How can we actually protect our kids online? Well, surprisingly, it's all about awareness and education. Awareness and education must be as important as the introduction of age verification and the platforms themselves doing a lot more to protect not only our kids, but everybody else as they're using those apps. Because adults are making the same mistakes that kids are making online. So telling parents to talk to their kids more about these issues isn't going to work because they're not aware of what is going on themselves. So here's what we can do for our kids. No smartphones until they're 13 or even 16, whatever it might be, but 13 is the minimum in my opinion and experience. Instead, give the kids basic or dumb phones for calls and SMS only. At school, provide ongoing age appropriate awareness and education on how to be a good digital citizen. And this should be a part of the curriculum starting in the first year of school, not an annual event with a presenter coming in. And whilst the people who were doing this are absolutely brilliant and required, because the curriculum just isn't cutting it, the curriculum does need to be created to support kids all throughout school and beyond. That's for another conversation. And at 13 or 16, but I reckon 13 is good for this one, kids must pass a test to attain their digital license, just like the old pen license as we progress from using pencil into pen. And we'll also need parental consent to actually have a smartphone and then move into the world of social media. And what about parents and carers? Well, we need to provide them with awareness and education as well that's age appropriate for their kids. There's no point in talking to someone who has a 5, 6, 7-year-old about what they need to be aware of for their kids to be safe online versus a 17 or a 16-year-old. It's an absolutely different world. And even though they might potentially get the ability to use these things at 13, there's still ongoing education and awareness that is required all the way through to adults. And once you get a job, you still need to be aware of what's happening out there online. I also think that parents need to know the positives and the negatives of the online world and need to be prepared to monitor and act when necessary because they will need to act. There will be something that happens on more than one occasion, dare I say it, when it comes to negative experiences online. Parents and carers will also need to pass a test to know how to do this because the amount of parents that I have spoken to over the years that are unaware of parental controls, unaware of resources available to help them and their kids to stay safe online. So, education is critical. And all smartphones for kids, when they do get them, whether that be at 13 to 18, should come standard with parental controls and monitoring on them. This is something that some people might think is a little bit crazy and a little bit out there, but let me explain to you why. Let's compare it to learning to drive a car. To obtain your learner's permit here in Australia, and it'll be different around the world, but here in Australia, you're 16. And there's some studying to do first. You have to go and pass a test. And once you pass the test, you have your L's for a while, and you can only drive with a licensed driver, and the learning curve is quite steep. If we've never driven a car before, the first time we get in that car is terrifying. We have no idea what we're doing. So, again, think about online experiences and driving a car as an analogy. So, once you get your L's, it's a steep learning curve. And after a lot of practice in all sorts of conditions and situations, plus providing documentation in a logbook, you're taken for yet another test to go from your L's to your P's to prove your knowledge and ability. Then you're on your P's for a set period of time and you need to follow strict rules to keep your P's. After a few years, you qualify for your full license. And even then, there are rules to follow and things you must do, or you could lose points and lose your license and be fined if you break the law along the way. Why do we do this? Because no one gives the keys to a 16-year-old and says, drive safely, kid. Can you imagine what would happen if we did that? And the reason we do it is that if you're driving a car, it is a deadly weapon. And we need to know that you can drive safely, you can keep yourself safe and others safe while you are driving. It's the same thing for online. When we hand our kids unprotected tablets, smartphones, gaming consoles, smart TVs, anything with access to the World Wide Web, we are handing them the keys to the car and saying, drive safely, kid. It is time now for us to do something different and time for parents and caregivers to demand more awareness and education to support their role in keeping our kids safe online. Not to mention keeping yourself safe online, because there's a lot of things that the majority of adults are absolutely unaware of, and they need to be. Now, this is a really important topic that needs to be addressed, and it really is only the beginning of this. And I would very much like to hear from you. Do you have any thoughts or questions about social media and potentially banning it, or what we should think of its effect on our kids or even yourself? If you've got a story to share, please feel free to let me know. And do you think social media should be banned for kids under 16? Should it maybe be 18? I'm here to answer any questions you have about staying safe online on any topic. And to avoid FOMO, please make sure you subscribe to Peeps and Geeks and, of course, hit the like button. Until next time, I am Jacqueline Jane. Stay safe out there. And remember, don't click on shit. Bye for now.